My God, how is it the end of March? Like, where is this year going? I truly don't know, but it's been such a blast. And welcome to the final episode of March, my third solo episode of the year. I am so excited to be coming to you guys with some cool things to wrap this month up. So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to every single one of you that went on and subscribed to my YouTube channel, that followed my podcast on Apple, that rated it on Apple, that reviewed it on Apple. It really, truly means so much to get those follows, get those subscribes, get those ratings and reviews. Believe it or not, it does matter. Algorithms are something that will forever be a mystery to me, but they do matter. So thank you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't already done so and you are a loyal listener of this podcast, please go on and do those things next time you open up those apps because it would really mean so much to me. So wrapping up March 27th, where are we at? What's interesting is that I'm actually recording this on the 26th. So this is like as live and real and in the moment as we can possibly be. It was another great month of podcasts, a great month of life. I spent the last 2.5 weeks in Mexico on the Baja Peninsula. I was just a little bit northwest of Cabo on the Pacific Ocean side. It was absolutely amazing. I loved being down there. It's funny because I've been to Cabo a few times, but I had never been to the Todos Santos area, which is where I just was. And it was so crazy to me. I was like telling my mom and some of my friends how it's so unassuming. So obviously there's a highway between Cabo and Todos Santos to get there, but the majority of the roads in these little towns along the way are dirt roads. So I spent time in Cerritos, in El Pescador, and in Todos Santos. And in most of those areas, they are dirt roads. So it was definitely a surprise when I very first got there and was using the map to get to my first hotel. I stayed at this adorable little desert oasis. And exactly, it was a desert oasis. It was a little hotel in the middle of nowhere. They had teepee rooms and treehouse rooms, a very nice pool, this old converted bus that they had made into where they made food and drinks and coffee, tons of palm trees, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I got to choose my room when I got there. I had reserved a teepee room, but they had treehouse rooms available. So I ended up choosing the treehouse, which was really fun, but it was also the roof was just like some kind of leaves. And so it was definitely, hi Norm, it was definitely a little chilly. It was surprisingly colder down there. Than I expected it to be. I literally had one sweatshirt that I had brought with me, and I was definitely cold at night. But then in the daytime, it was perfect. It was sunny. I got really tan. I was in a bikini. I was sitting by the beach, by the pool. It was really, really great. So I stayed there for the first 4 nights. The second 4 nights, my friend Amanda from San Francisco came down and joined me. And we stayed in the Todos Santos town. So it was great because we could walk a lot of places. And unassuming is truly like the best word to describe everything down there. A lot of like older buildings, a lot of brick buildings. Most of the houses there are actually built of cinder blocks, which was crazy to me. But I guess getting lumber there is very, very expensive due to the location on the peninsula and then having to, bring it in from the mainland. So cinder blocks it is. So you would open the door of some of these, bars or restaurants that we were going to and walk in and just be blown away by the decor, the vibe, the beauty. And there's also a lot of like Michelin restaurants and Michelin mentions and Michelin hotels. And so it was just like, it was so unassuming. And the juxtaposition of that with the dirt roads was definitely not lost on me. After Amanda took off, I moved to a little casita in the Cerritos Beach area. And that was like ultimate chill out time. I worked, I rested, I walked on the beach 5 or 6 miles every day. I went out to the beach again at night and watched the sunset. And it was just really nice. It was a nice vibe. The couple that owned the casita casita. It was basically 4 levels. The first 2 levels were their main home, and then the second 2 levels were little casitas that they rented out for travelers. So one night they invited me and the couple that was staying above me over for dinner, and the 5 of us just sat and talked for like 4 hours about food and travel and just life and all the cool places that we'd been and all the different things that we'd experienced. And it was just so much fun and it was so nice. And overall, I had such a fantastic time. The main reason I chose to go down there as opposed to anywhere else in the world is because recently I've gotten into astrocartography. And what that is at a very high level is basically the map. You go into this map, you put in your birthday, time, place, location, place and location. So name, birthday, time you were born, location you were born. And it creates a map where all the planets were that at that time, date, and location. All the planets that have different energy associated with them. And I am a believer and I think that it is really cool. So my Mars line was going right over the area of Mexico that I was in. And Mars has a high concentration on career and entrepreneurship. And that is where I am very focused on right now. So I thought, why not just go give it a whirl? I mean, worst case, I go and hang out in a beautiful part of Mexico for a couple weeks. Best case, I come out with something new or some clarity or some really exciting things that have happened. And so my favorite thing about my travels lately is that I have no idea what to expect when I go. I just go and see what happens. And this trip, I have to say, I came back so incredibly refreshed. I feel like just a new leaf has turned over. I feel so energized and so positive and just, I don't know, it was so crazy. It was like I could feel the energy shift. And so I do believe that it had something to do with where I was locationally in the world, but I also believe that it had something to do with the people that have come into my life as of late. I do not believe in coincidence. I do not believe in serendipity. I very much believe that we attract the right people at the right times for the right reasons. And I have had some really amazing people come into my life, and it's been really cool what has happened as a result. One of those people is a business coach that I recently hired, and, talk about meeting people at the right time in the right place. She actually had reached out to me a few months ago because she saw an episode of a podcast that I did. It came out at the beginning of January with a guy named Sam Simmons, and he has a really cool company called Mint Pass. So anyways, she happened to see that episode because she knows him. So she ended up reaching out to me because she wanted to be on my podcast and talk about her journey and where that has led her. So the day we recorded my podcast, it was the end of February. And when we stopped recording, I asked her, I said, hey, I'd like to learn a little bit more about what types of people you do. She does a lot of different career coaching and business coaching. And she told me, she was like, you are honestly like exactly the type of person that I love working with. So longer conversation than just that, but we decided to work together. And I am so excited for what we are going to accomplish together. I'm excited about having an accountability partner. And I truly believe that at the end of our time together, there's going to be some big shifts for me. And I can't wait. Another person that came into my life is a guy named Eric. We also recorded my podcast. He's somebody that I met on LinkedIn, and his episode will be coming out in a few weeks, but he is just the coolest guy, has such an interesting story. He works now for a company called the Purpose Company, where they essentially coach people on how to find your purpose and how to really incorporate that into your day-to-day life, in your career, in your personal life, so you are living according to your purpose and being fulfilled by the work that you are doing. So the conversation that I had with him that we recorded for the podcast, you guys, it was literally one of the easiest podcast recordings I've ever done. I was absolutely captivated by his story. I am so excited for you all to hear it because I felt like he was speaking directly to me. So I hope that every single one of you listening to it feels like he is speaking to you and can learn some really cool things from him about, purpose and fulfillment and living a great life. So those are some really exciting things that happened for me in the month of March. Otherwise, we had some great episodes on the podcast. And, I just am continually humbled by this opportunity that I have to tell these stories. I'm so grateful for all of the people that come on and give me their time and share their story and their wisdom and the life that they've lived and different parts of their world that they want to share with other people. Some people have come on and they've shared things with me that they haven't shared very publicly. Some people share things or talk about things in a way and then they're like, wow, like I'd never really talked about it like that before. And I'm just so grateful that I can provide a space where people are comfortable talking to me, but also when they want to come on and share their story, so then I can put it out and share it with all of you. So if you didn't hear the episodes from March, I definitely encourage you to check them out. I had some great guests. Aaron Kaufman came on and he talked about his business in the event space. A really interesting story about that industry in general. Also just about like his outlook on everything and how he has just been very much a pioneer, continually is out fighting for people in the event production space to have a seat at the table and all the cool things that they have done. The second episode that came out in March was Dr. Ron Stotts. You guys, this episode brought chills up and down my body when he was telling me his story. This man has had such a journey. He talks about consciousness. He talks about the way that he lives, how he coaches people, how he teaches people. But his story, oh my God, it was just nuts. And I'm so grateful that he felt comfortable enough to share it with me. Next up, we had Madeline Rayford Holland. She talked all about her transition into building a short-term rental brand. And I really appreciated the way that she has approached everything because she's managed to literally create, she's not just an Airbnb owner. She has created a brand. So it's similarly to if you're like a Marriott aficionado or a Hilton aficionado, right? Like she has a brand. So the way that she has put that all together, the way they treat their guests, the way they want their guests to feel, the way that they want them to, experience staying in one of their properties is really amazing. And also the way that she's figured out how to monetize everything and share her knowledge and coach other people into achieving the same level of success that she has. It's pretty cool. If you have any short-term rentals, I highly recommend taking a listen. And also if you have any long-term rentals and you're curious about, what if I turn these into short-term rentals? It's definitely a great episode for learning. Next up was my business coach, Sam. We had such a fun conversation. This was another one of the episodes where I just felt like we were sitting on FaceTime, gabbing it up, talking about all the things. And also this was the recording where after I decided to hire her as my business coach. So you should definitely check that out, especially if you are someone considering getting a business coach, or if you're curious about, what she does, or if you are a business coach yourself and just want to connect with another cool business coach. She's wonderful. She has the best energy. And I think it was a really fun conversation. And last but certainly not least, the episode that came out just this week on Tuesday, I spoke with Megan Shields. She is so fun. We met in a Facebook group. She posted something about her business and I was curious to learn more. She has carved out a very cool niche for herself where she works with businesses that have podcasts and helps them like advertise them in a way. So what she realized was that a lot of businesses have podcasts, but they haven't figured out how to connect the podcast with the business. So the podcast can end up being a way to drive business and grow their business. So she works in that space, but her story is really cool on how she got to where she is and what she is doing right now. So I loved talking with her. I definitely feel like she's going to be somebody that is going to be a friend of mine for a long time. And I look forward to maintaining that relationship. So that all being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you as always for listening. If you're watching right now, if you haven't ever met my dog, Norm, this is the love of my life. Are you the love of my life? You are. Norm, by the way, for those of you who have never heard about him or never seen him, he is over 15 years old. I got him at a shelter in San Jose in 2010. And he's been a part of our family since then. He is the absolute love of my life. He is my favorite thing ever. I never thought I could love an animal the way I love him. And I'm very grateful. I'm very lucky that we have an excellent co-parenting relationship. So when I am out traveling in the world, he gets to live his best life with his father. Okay. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up and I'm just going to say thank you again for being here and look out for April coming in hot next week. We've got some awesome episodes to just absolutely crush April with. So I am so looking forward to putting these out into the world. Thank you as always for listening, watching, tuning in, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for being here with me because I love doing this so much. I'll talk to you next week.